You're listening to a main feed episode. Go to patreon.com/Celtic Ligers where €5 a month gets you weekly full-length episodes, stray bonus content and access to the back catalogue. Also helps cover hosting and gives us money for sweeties. Thank you. Celtic Ligers.
Recorded 27th of May 2024.
Welcome to the new and improved Celtic Ligers.
Yeah. Sounds better than ever. If
Yeah.
you disagree, then clearly you're not prepared for the future.
Yeah, Peter Jackson's
48 frames per second. Another beautiful bit that I did before we started recording. Did you watch The Hobbit in 48 frames?
Yeah. I mean, you had to watch it in 48.
Did you? I don't remember you having to do that, but I remember I chose to do that, and I was excited to see what happened, and I was like, this looks terrible.
Yeah. 48 frames a second, 4DX. Strobe light effect.
Yeah.
It is funny how, like, I remember when I was young, I was like, in the future, things are going to be so realistic, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to be able to tell where the screen ends. And then it's like 40X, where there's a strobe light going, and it's like a thing, the dog sneezes in your face, and it spreads.
Like, the thing about that technology that makes me laugh as well is like, that's the stuff that you get when you go to like Universal Studios and it's like, honey, I shrunk the audience, and they're like reaching out, whoa, you know.
Yeah.
And it's meant to be like a bit of fun. So anytime they try to reintroduce it, it's like they're doing smell-o-vision, you know, that thing where you had to like scratch the card and you'd get a smell of something that was up on the screen, or you know.
Yeah.
But like, it's not even as fun as that, you know. I used to be like, when the Wii came out, I thought like, this is amazing. Finally, I am the controller. And then you do it, and then you're like, this sucks. Actually, you forget how limiting it is. And same with VR. Like with VR, you really do like, oh wow, and I'm in the game, and then you can start getting like nauseous and a headache and knocking into furniture, and it's just like, why are we doing this? Why don't we just like stick to what worked before? You just hold a controller in your hands and like, that's it, you know?
I know. The Wii was for losers, I think.
Yeah, I really wanted a Wii. I couldn't. And I'm not talking about, but I did really want a Nintendo Wii.
See, I had a DS.
Yeah.
Which is the ultimate failed promise. It was like, it is 2 screens, so you can do crazy things. And then it's like, it's like, oh, you're a detective. Why don't you write into your notebook? You know? We're like, why don't you scribble a picture? Like,
God help us.
Wasn't there a game? I don't know if I just dreamt this, but it was like, you could just draw anything in the world.
Scribble knots, yeah.
I don't believe that works.
No, because like they were like, get across this. There's like a hole or a pit you have to leap across.
Yeah,
and it's like a side scroller, and so it's like, well, how do you solve this problem? And then like we just type in helicopter, and then that works like 10 times out of 10. You know, like,
yeah.
They were like, no, I want to make a bridge out of dinosaurs. They want you to be like creative, but actually people are like not really creative. And
I was like, what if you typed in like dog, and it was like a real dog that could, you know what I mean, sneeze in your face or whatever.
I was going to say that the stupidest one was Nintendogs, where it's like, hey, you get to have like a digital dog and you like pet it and throw a ball at it and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that's the most like demo for equipment ever, isn't it? Think of the potential, and then there's not really any potential beyond that thing that you just did.
I know. It's like the dog can eat, sleep, or like I think in all those Japanese, we had a game called Cats
Hmm.
on the computer,
Nice.
Windows 95, and it was like, you had a pet cat, but you could like spray it with a bottle of water.
Hmm.
I used to do that hours. Spraying this 2-dimensional cat with a bottle of water.
It is amazing the joy that you could get out of doing nothing on the computer back then. Like, as in, there was nothing to do, but you would open up like Paint and just be making like squares, and you do that for hours. And I'm not one of those people who goes, "Oh, if only we could go back to that." I look back at that and I think, "Fuck, that's grim. That's so scary that
So
was
primitive.
all there was." You know?
I know. Like, it really makes you. It's like we got addicted to drawing squares in Paint, and
Yeah.
now it's like, the kids these days, they have a sort of living square.
Yeah.
I don't know what sort of games are on the Switch. It's like Square Simulator.
Yeah. Square Simulator, Square Returns, Square Odyssey.
Yeah,
There's BioSquare.
yeah.
Can't
There's
even
like a
think of recent
game where
games. It's
you
insane.
like the Square learns everything you like and can talk to you forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like porn plays on a TV behind the Square.
Yeah. And it's not normal porn. It's like Shrek, and he's got a big ass.
Yeah,
And
he's got yeah.
And it's not even it's one of the ants from Ants is like, flicking his
Doming him.
ass,
Licking it or flicking.
flicking it with their finger, just like boing, boing, boing.
Googling. Me just now Googling Square Simulator.
Yeah, just so I know to avoid it. Gotta keep my kids away from this filth.
What game did you play? How old were you when you got your first computer in the house?
Well, we were. I would have been quite young actually, but like I'm just gonna go for the proper one, like which I remember playing games on, which would have been, I would say, like 7.
Yeah.
And we played. There was like a Timon and Pumbaa game that was like a series of mini games.
Did you get on a packet of cereal?
I think eventually you could, but we bought it like full
Right.
price. I don't know. It was one of those things where it's like, it's just to be a bit of fun. And the other one is that cracking open like Minesweeper, not knowing how to play it, and then just doing that for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
We never found out what Minesweeper was, how to play it. And then I swear I was like a teenager when somebody was like, "You see those numbers? That's how many blocks away you are from a mine." And I was like, "What?"
Yeah. It never occurred to me that numbers meant anything. I think I just like getting the big number. I was like, wow, 4.
Yeah. Very bad. Solitaire, never figured that out until I was a teenager as well. And then pinball, pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, I hated pinball.
And those are all the things that were on the computer.
Yeah. We had a game called Hover.
Oh. Is that one with the helicopter?
No, you were like some sort of thing. Like a hover machine.
Okay.
And you looked for flags. Like Doom? Doom, the game.
Yeah.
You know the way that's not 3D,
Yeah.
but it somehow simulates 3D?
Yeah, exactly.
It was like that.
Hmm.
But there were no monsters. It was all just flags. Great game.
There was one in the Macintosh, which my parents got in the early days, and it was like, there's like a helicopter. It's like side-scrolling thing. When there's like a helicopter, and you have to jump out of the helicopter into a truck that has a bunch of hay in it.
Poor.
And remember my parents saying about A Bug's Life that they were like, wow, the graphics on that game are so incredible. They thought it was the most impressive thing they'd ever seen.
You had that game too, the Bugs
I
Life
did,
game. That was
terrible game. Bad vibes. I don't know what it was about it, but
I remember being sort of scared of the.
I know.
Do you remember you had to like collect? It was like you had to collect seeds to make taller
Yeah,
flowers. Do you remember that?
I do.
I remember being sort of scared jumping off the top. I was like, it's too high. Like,
Yeah.
getting sort of like vertigo.
Yes, I know what you mean. Yeah. I think it was some of these games, like the visual imagery and the way they translated to video games, just kind of created this very, and also because of the PlayStation 1 and the limitations, like created this incredibly empty worlds that were very textureless, and then you were just like, they were kind of scary. It's another game that, and I don't mean scary as in like, oh my god, I'm freaked out. Well, no, actually, I do mean that way. No, I mean like, you know, where something is just eerie and weird and kind of, you're kind of, I remember having panic attacks playing like the first Harry Potter movie game. That was always like very unpleasant. It's just a very unpleasant place to be in that game.
That was a horrible game.
Yeah.
I remember a friend of mine, I remember cheats on PlayStation were always like, you know, you'd type in this password and you get a big head or something.
Yeah.
Whereas cheats on computer were like, no clip through a wall, and then it's like you can see the inside of Dumbledore's face or something.
Yeah.
And he was like, look at this. And it was like, you could go down into this like developer room in the game, and like every character in the game was there, but just like silently looking at a wall. I remember being very disconcerted by that.
Yeah.
The first game, cheats. I'm looking up.
I'm pretty sure, not to get entirely off topic, but I mean, it's slightly relevant, but I just remember that the time I got out my junior cert results, like the type of dorks that I hung out with, they're like, all right, we're going to head back to Richard's house. And then they started playing like Elder Scrolls or one of those games.
Oh, yeah.
And what they had done is they had meticulously positioned a bunch of objects in a room over the course of like presumably hours, okay? Like maybe even days, you know, because it's the family computer. So you have to take breaks. And they had filled like this room with a bunch of vases essentially. And then they just like shot a spell into it. And because of like, the computer just went ballistic, you know? Like the fan was going crazy. And like, it was just, you'd see like an image every 4 seconds of like something moving in the room. You know, it was like that type of, and I remember watching that and just like, I do not know what, because they were howling laughing. And they were like, this is great. And I was like, it was another one of those moments where you're there and it's like, these are my friends. These are the people I hang out with. Like, I wouldn't mind having those friends still. But at the same time, when it was the only friends that I had, I was like, my God. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say I was like 25 before I made friends that I felt comfortable around, you know?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Like a lot of my life has been the equivalent of, you know, watching that video or watching that. Like, I remember when I was in school and someone put on like a 15-minute video and it was like a guy playing Mario, but he was like, this cocksuckering thing won't let me jump, you know, like
yeah,
you know, like an angry overlay audio.
Yeah, an angry video game nerd, if you will,
style thing.
Yeah.
And just been so isolated from what was going on there, you know.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, where it's that feeling of like weird ennui, where you're just like, I can't think of anything else that I should be doing, but I know that it shouldn't be this. You know? But any other creepy games from that time? Just want to think of other games where you're just like I don't know what it is. It's just when the game feels very small, or when it feels like you get this feeling like you're trapped. That's that kind of, anytime I see kind of those PS1 graphics, it just kind of makes me start breathing really fast. Like, oh no. I'm trying to think of another crap game. The Mummy game, I remember that being very bad. I didn't have it, I rented it, and I was very excited because I loved the movie, and then I started playing it and I was like, this is fucking dog shit.
The Mammy game.
And yet Crash Bandicoot was really accessible. It really felt like it's okay, we can be in this world for hours. PS1 games.
Yeah.
Did you look that up? Are you looking at it?
No. But that's funny about Crash Bandicoot, considering it's like you are just walking down a road.
Yeah. But it did really feel like there was worlds outside of that road, though. I think that was the thing. Whereas with Harry Potter, it felt like there was nothing beyond that JPEG that you see of a tree. That's it. You know, you're in a box.
Yeah, this Mummy game looks shit.
Yeah, it was really bad.
And you played this?
No, you wanted to play this? Alright, fuck it. I don't know. Should we talk about the news?
What news?
Well, Ireland recognises Palestine as a state.
Yeah. The way people were taught, and this is my own ignorance, I was like, oh, we're the first, like, maybe even in the world to recognise Palestine.
Go us. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, hey, maybe it's not so bad, you know? Turns out we're 10th in Europe.
Yeah.
Like,
and we weren't even the only one to do it this time. It was Ireland, Norway, and Spain.
Yeah. Countries that recognise Palestine.
And anytime I see this now, because I heard that, like, pretty big fucking if, because I just have lost faith in all institutions, but apparently if the International Criminal Court or the International Court of Justice or whatever deems that what's happening in Israel is genocide, then countries can be liable for doing nothing, essentially. Not even like being complicit, but also just doing nothing. So whenever I see gestures like this, where it's like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. What about Shannon? What about the Occupied Territories Bill? It's like, no, I'd much prefer to have the cover of Norway and Spain to agree that Palestine is a state, even though we voted to agree to recognize Palestine as a state 10 years ago and just didn't implement it.
Yeah.
You know? And it's also some cheap heat for Simon Harris to be like, you know, I was talking about this, about how he's like a shrewd operator in many ways. I mean, not that shrewd. Shrewd by Irish standards, let's put it that way. But like, he went up there and he was like, take our flag back. And then it was like, oh, that didn't sound right. And then he's like, I'm actually going to try and angle to be a little bit more compassionate. And then now he seems to be kind of actually positioning himself to do that. And I could see that being very effective. I could see a lot of people responding to that. They're like, I just want to be a blue shirt, but I want you to be less smug, you know? Like,
I know. He does slip up, though. Like, he was talking about the migrants in tents by the canal. Yeah. Grand Canal. And he referred to them as festering.
Yeah, that was disgusting.
I was Googling there, like, how many countries have recognized Palestine. But then, so it's something like 143.
Mm-hmm.
But I was also thinking, have you seen all this stuff about a lot of search engines are using like AI tools to return results?
I saw that. Yeah.
I saw one that was like, can you smoke while pregnant? It was like, doctors recommend smoking 2 to 3 cigarettes a day.
Yeah. Camel Lights.
Yeah. Saw another one there that was like, let me get it up.
But is that the one where, like, if you type in what is Israel, and then they go, oh, Israel is a, you know, I can't remember what it is, but it's like Israel is like a country, and then if you type in what is Palestine, it's like Palestine is a rogue entity or something like this. You know, like it's feeding off all of the Zionist claptrap. Dropping in to add context. So it was asking ChatGPT about Israel Palestine. Do Israelis deserve justice? Justice is a fundamental principle that applies to all individuals and groups, regardless of their nationality or background. Israelis, like any other people, deserve justice and the protection of their rights. Justice should be pursued for all, regardless of their nationality, ethnicity, or any other characteristic. Now, do Palestinians deserve justice? The question of justice for Palestinians is a complex and highly debated issue. Many people and organizations advocate for the rights and justices of the Palestinian people, particularly in the context of Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Going to shift into a Keir Starmer voice now. Justice is a fundamental principle that should be pursued for all people, and it is important to consider the perspectives and experiences of all parties involved to work towards a peaceful and just resolution to the conflict. It really fell apart there at the end, but you get my idea.
No, this one was can a cockroach live in your penis? Google says yes. That's totally normal.
It's kind of spooky, actually. I don't know if I like that anymore. Don't want it happening.
Well,
Wouldn't
you have
be
no
me.
choice. It's normal.
Yeah, everyone's got to do it eventually.
Yeah. What do astronauts do? Astronauts fuck, smoke, game, and repeat. Need I say more?
Is that really? That's so fucking good. Oh my god! It's crazy how much Elon Musk like just infects the internet. You know?
Yeah. And he infects women with babies too.
Yeah. Crotch goblins, as you call them.
Yeah.
Where is this?
Yeah. So we recognize Palestine.
Yeah, that one. Is Bowser gay? Bowser, later changed to Braxton, is a bisexual character from SML. Is that Super Mario League? I don't know.
Yeah, SML. Wario comes out.
Dressed as Elon Musk.
Yes, and his mom was there.
Mm.
Do you remember that when he came out with his mom?
No.
Do you not remember that? He came out.
Yeah.
He was hosting SML, and then his mom was there, and he's like, "I'm the first openly autistic predator to host SML," and then his mom was like, "I don't know." She was just there. She was like, "I'm sorry for what I did to the world."
I think his dad is actually sorry. So yeah, was it Palestine? I wanted to say, just because you mentioned that there was something, but I have a bunch of little articles put together here. One is what happened in the immediate aftermath, where Israel recalls the ambassadors. So it's fucking Israel who took the ambassador back.
Well, for a little bit.
Oh, I think she's still here, but I know she is like she's not. She doesn't have any ambassador duties or whatever.
They called her back to discuss, to strategize.
Oh yeah.
She's still the ambassador.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So I saw adult baby Paul Murphy. He was like, they should get rid of her, and everyone was like, they did. And he's like, no, she's still here. I think they should lock her in a tower or something.
Yeah.
Not with a slurry pit.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Or something crazy like that.
Yeah. What was this? Yeah. Okay. Forget. I'll just read. So. Yeah, I guess so. She wasn't, which I thought she was. I thought she was gone.
Well, let me just check. The ambassador. Ambassador Israel.
Oh yeah, but I don't know if you saw it today, but she was like, that's a thriving tech industry you have in Ireland. It'd be a shame if something were to happen to it as a result of what you just did. And so they're all coming out and like, the responses are actually fine, but they are like squirming, like because clearly the Indo and like a very. The other outlets that are sympathetic to them will be like, what did she say about tech? What did she say about tech? So, calm down.
Yeah.
She was like, but it was kind of revealing because they were like, Israeli tech, which makes up, X amount of, and I was like, it makes up what? It makes up this sizable chunk of our tech industry. That's fucked up. So I looked up the articles, multiple ones that I read. Thank you very much. To try and find where that figure came from. And I actually couldn't find a percentage. I just found a quote from the Irish Times, who of course are going to be the most petrified about something happening to FDI. And they say, a threat to tech services that account for the lion's share of some $5 billion, brackets 4.6 billion euro, in annual trade between the countries. So I don't know where they're getting that number from. People... Hey, phone in and tell us, what tech companies are there? There's Wix, obviously, but that doesn't, I don't know if that makes up 5 billion. Are they talking about all of the processors, HP computers, American companies that might be less likely to do business with us? I just don't know where that number is coming from. And even if it was true, then who fucking cares? What's happening in Palestine is more important. Although, as a happy accident, I would love if the tech sector here was rendered to dust. But Harris responded, I think it's a distraction, quite frankly. Asked if he believes Mr. Ehrlich My Balls was threatening Ireland with economic retaliation for his decision to recognise Palestine through her remarks, Mr. Harris responded, the ambassador can say what the ambassador wishes to say. This is a country that complies with diplomatic norms and treats ambassadors with respect. It certainly doesn't parade ambassadors in front of television cameras where videos are played with horrific films. We will continue to treat all ambassadors with respect. I don't know if you saw that, but they played a bunch of videos of like, look what fucking Hamas did.
My question is, why did the ambassador watch the video?
Just don't go. Just be like, fuck you, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to put up with this shit, honestly.
I know.
This is not in the spirit of what this sort of diplomacy.
Or even just being like, that's horrible, I don't know watch it. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. And then did you see so they were playing the videos from, and then there was another one in the room.
Mm.
And she had her phone out and she was recording the ambassador, the Irish ambassador, his expressions.
Really?
Yeah, it was like, do you remember those things where like, my mum watches Two Girls, One Cup? Remember that?
Yeah. My mum watches, curated clips of Hamas attack, ignoring all of the atrocities that Israel has committed since October 7th. I mean, obviously, like, people would point... Like, I mean, I woke up this morning and actually I got myself a gun. No, I was really... I actually was very upset today. You feel like such a little fucking... Oh, look at you, upset by what happened in the news. So upset that you can't get off the couch. Is that it? But that footage of Rafa was some of the most upsetting shit I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And that there's an actual like beheaded baby being held up in front of a burning camp of children. and everybody on, like, I don't know what the Irish media has been like, but you get to see people go like, there's some explosions just outside of Rafah, and you're just like, explosions not attributed to anybody, and it's like Israel administered, it's the type of police talk, I administered a tactical precision strike in response to I don't know, some fucking pebbles going off of the Iron Dome. Like it was, and you just feel, like sick and like I can't believe. I don't even know how to. Yeah.
They said it was a surgical strike.
Yeah.
On a target. And it was just like dropping a massive bomb on a concentration camp,
Yeah. And I don't know how these people. I hate that these people won't feel anything. I wonder if they will. I wonder if even they're in like a retirement home, these reporters, these journalists, these people going out there who might not necessarily be active participants in the Zionist project, but just get these things and go, well, it's my job to read it out and just say this. Will they ever have a moment where they go, I am responsible? Or will they always... Yeah.
They'll be like, we did what we could. You know, we read out the news. Yeah.
There was a thing where it's like, what was that in? Oh, I think it was actually one of the guys who's writing on a Marvel show, and he's like, maybe I have this wrong, but anyway, one of the things that came out was like, people go, if you ever wondered what you would do during the Holocaust, it's what you're doing right now. Like, like there's all these guys are like, God, if they give me a machine gun and send me into Auschwitz back and I'd take that, it's like, no, you wouldn't, because you're watching it happen now and you're like, actually, it's complicated. Another part of this article that I thought was worth mentioning just because of relevant to what you had said was, where is he? So yeah, she threatens tech and she said, I'd love to come back there because Ireland and Israel have a lot in common because we both have like kind of dead languages that had a resurgence and that's about it. But I'd love to come back.
Conan O'Brien had to apologise for saying something like that.
Did he?
He called Irish a dead language.
Hmm.
That's why he was on Ross na Rún.
When did he say that?
I don't know. Recently.
But I mean, the other thing about this recognizing Palestine as a state is to be like, well, I believe in a two-state solution. I was like, you've been saying that since this started, and yet you didn't recognize Palestine as a state. And the US still doesn't recognize Palestine as a state and goes, we need a two-state solution. I was like, but if you don't recognize them as states, then what are we doing here?
Yeah.
How are you allowed away with this?
What's a second state?
Yeah. I'm trying to find this. There was a bit, though, where Harris basically says, he's talking about the attack, okay? He goes, I condemn the violence of yesterday, the rockets that were struck at Tel Aviv, and the heinous attack on the Rafah tent refugee camp where innocent children and civilians were killed. And I would just think it's interesting to bring that up at this moment in time. Oh, this is Micheál Martin saying this. When we have potential sites marked for migrants being burnt down. There was a guy killed for not speaking English. Admittedly, he didn't live in a tent. But there then have, these 10 cities that are forming and the government are coming and just bulldozing them, which I suppose is, supposed to be better than dropping a bomb on them. But,
but did you see their solution?
Yeah, stop paying them.
Yeah. They're no longer funding the giving out of tents.
Yes.
No.
What a great solution.
Yeah. They really going in on the migrant thing, aren't they?
Yeah, and there was a poll in the Irish Times that a lot of people have been talking about online, and they say it's kind
Yeah,
of
his name is.
exaggerated.
He's running.
Yeah.
He's running for Fianna Fáil. He's 21.
Who is it?
I don't know that guy from Anna.
Nico Kavanchek.
Yeah,
He's not running, is he?
I don't
How did
know.
I not know that?
I don't know. I don't think he is. I just wanted to reference him again.
Yeah, he's a funny fella.
And he's Polish, so
And he's Polish.
that's sort of 2 for 1 there. You know what I mean?
So apparently in this poll they were like, they were basically saying that migration has basically become a greater concern for voters, essentially. But the poll, what it says is that still the number one issue, far and away, is housing. Like, it just is.
Sorry, I forgot. I have a good. I'm listening to what you're saying, but I have a good local candidate to talk about.
Oh, amazing.
Sorry.
Wait, okay, let me get wait, one sec. Let me get through these things real quick. So I just wanted to read out some of the stuff. So Israel recalls ambassadors from Ireland and Norway after recognition of Palestine state. At Gavin Riley tweets, the Palestinian flag is to fly at Leinster House formally next Tuesday when Ireland's formal recognition of statehood takes effect. But then I was just like, on Nakba Day, the Ceann Comhairle refused to allow the Palestinian flag to fly. And this is the same Ceann Comhairle. First of all, the Ukrainian flag flew, no bother, obviously.
Yeah.
Ceann Comhairle also met with the Israeli ambassador in Leinster House, January 2024, and also in the same month attended a Zionist conference organised by the European Jewish Association, where he blamed the increasing hostility felt by Jews in Ireland on not just the extreme right, but the left also. And so, another headline, recognition of Palestine does not reflect views of Fine Gael grassroots, says Paul Keogh.
Yeah.
So, and it doesn't, because Simon Coveney fucked up the Occupied Territories Bill and been leaving that in the back burner. That's in a similar position to the recognition of Palestine as a state.
Ceann Comhairle is like, he's such a fat slob, isn't he? Like, even his brain is like a fat slob.
Yeah.
And then that Fine Gael thing was insane. It was like probably the most like empathetic thing Fine Gael has ever done in its history.
Yeah.
And all the backbenchers being like, we didn't agree to that.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, like, it's incredibly opportunistic as well. But then the backbenchers are fucking up the opportunism. Do you know? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen that video as well of like Micheál Martin, and he is like, they're like, he's there with a bunch of candidates for the Euros, and one of the guys who's a Euro candidate, Micheál Martin's standing right next to him, and he's saying, "Yeah, I'm getting no support from this guy."
We are not getting our fair share, and it's up to a party like Fianna Fáil, a real Republican party, to give support to all the candidates, to give everybody the opportunity to take a seat. And I feel that there's a real opportunity now to take a seat on the border and the Connacht counties. But we need equal support for the last 2 weeks, and not just support for a few. If the Taoiseach goes for a campus, he goes for a campus with all three. And if he goes to do videos with one candidate, he has to do the videos with all three. And I'm asking for equal opportunity and equal support.
First of all, I canvassed with Niall. The only person yet I think I haven't canvassed with is Lisa, actually.
Taoiseach has not
No,
canvassed.
sorry, I'm not going to have. Look, this
But
is
it
not.
wasn't with me, it was
Sorry.
two other candidates
I said that.
I
That's
joined
but that's what I've done with all the candidates. All the European candidates are with local election candidates
Correct.
when we canvass.
I canvassed with
So
you,
that's-
with other local
okay,
candidates.
So that's it. So that's the position. We will deal with how the campaign gets conducted after the press conference. I'm not going to have a public discussion on the logistics of a campaign.
Oh yeah. That
And
guy.
then Micheál Martin's like, "Well, actually, I am giving you support," and they almost have an argument in front of all the cameras. Like, let's just put this aside. And it's like, you know, you just imagine these guys where it's like, are you fucking serious? Do you know what I mean? I have to go out there and sell this shit, and you're making me look like an absolute mug. Like, can you not just like, I don't know. I just see it as such an easy win. You know, like the least amount of exposure for you, something that's popular for everybody, will cost you the least amount of support, might even gain you some. And these guys are just like, no, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw the comments to that video about the argument. Who
Yeah.
was it again?
I
The
don't know,
guy.
some fucking, just the most
Uh,
generic Fianna Fáil face. Well, that has to happen soon. We need to do. I've got a game called Fine Gael or Fianna Fáil Head. I don't know what the name of it, but I'm going to show James a bunch of candidates without their parties' names or colours next to them, and see if he can say whether they're in Fianna Fáil or Fine Gael just from their fucking heads. But this guy had Fianna Fáil head. He just had a block, that type of
yeah.
spongy red block, and that like little curly hair and those like eyes that are slightly too close together and just look like, a fucking dog coming in for their dinner. Like he looks so oafish and stupid and entitled. So yeah, I can't remember who it is, and he's not worth remembering because just
Niall Blaney.
oh god.
Yeah. Yeah, and all the comments were like, he's too busy supporting a Brazilian.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It's like
Oh
one thing at
my
a time.
god.
Like,
Actually, that has there's a headline here. I haven't read the article, and I had it like in the comedy section. I don't know. I've separated this up into nice little sections. There's too many little articles to talk about today. Did you get it though? You have the one. It's about Caio Benicio. Yeah. Here's the quote: Barry Andrews and Caio Benicio out with Micheál Martin hitting the doors to try and get him elected. But the quote is, "He could be the next Bertie." So just say your name, where you are running, and make 1 point about why. The Taoiseach tells Caio Benicio, a first-time local election candidate for Fianna Fáil, who is well known for his intervention in the Parnell Square attack 6 months ago. The Brazilian is trying to record a video clip aimed at Dublin's north inner-city voters, flanked by the Taoiseach, MEP Barry Andrews and Senator Mary Fitzpatrick, while stood in the middle of the street in Stoneybatter, a situation that anyone venturing into politics for the first time would find intimidating. It's third time lucky. Martin's advice works, and Benicio gets his message across succinctly. He wants to bring new energy to Dublin City Council and be a voice for the diverse community he lives in, he says. So nothing and nothing. Before the Taoiseach's arrival, the Fianna Fáil politicians had been largely focused on pitching their two candidates for the local and Euro elections, Benicio and Andrews respectively. To locals in Arbour Hill, you were probably wondering why I'm not in Brazil having my pint, but I want to do something meaningful, Benicio told people.
He didn't say that.
He did, apparently. Zainab also showed me an amazing clip where
the football play.
The fucking football clip. Oh my days.
I know. That line about the pint is like, it's like if you typed into Google AI, like, what was a Brazilian say if he was running for Fianna Fáil? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why am I in Brazil having a pint?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sláinte.
I have no idea what that even means.
Yeah. Sorry, look at it. When one US expat was talking about the need for smaller brown bins and for recycling to be simplified, Fitzpatrick jumped in to say the former Deliveroo driver, quote, simplified matters that day at Parnell Square.
Yeah, and he's brown. Like a bean.
Yeah. Okay, I was trying to find the bit about Bertie. Who the fuck said that, and why did they think it was a good idea?
This was good. The Taoiseach, who arrived to join a little later, took a more laid-back approach. Often opting to open conversations with, hello, how are you? It's like...
I think the next bit, and at one point he mouthed, calm down, to his colleagues, in good humour, between doors. I can't believe this is the fucking Journal. I really would have thought it was like, I don't know what. I mean, is there any sympathetic Fianna Fáil outlet? But the Journal is the last I would expect to do this fucking ridiculous. I mean, in that story about Fitzpatrick jumping in and saying that, I don't think that's meant to make them look good, so maybe I'm mistaken. But some of this is like, This is
Um,
insane.
yeah, it is funny as well how Micheál Martin can't smile.
Yeah.
Like it looks like he's in the Irish embassy in Israel, and they're showing him the video, and they're like, "But smile."
That's also another thing, by the way. Micheál Martin with that, not to, we'll jump around, whatever, it's fine. But like, Micheál Martin kind of going like, yeah, we'll do this. We'll recognize Palestine as the state. And then he was going over there, like pointing at holes in ceilings, wearing his flak jacket, trying to look important. And he couldn't have been a bit like more reasonable sort of ally. And also they needed to just modify their behavior to 1 degree less crazy for him to be able to continue to support them. And then they come out and they say this thing which basically everybody should agree with, is that Palestine is a state. Because if you're saying there's a 2-state solution, you need to recognize both states, obviously. And then this guy, Anti-Semitism UK or whatever it is, Stop Anti-Semitism, just puts out that post going, do you remember the post?
No.
We were meet Ireland's first minister, Micheál Martin. Actually, I think he spelled it Michael Martin, so there you go. On October 7th, Hamas terrorists raped and kidnapped his daughter into Gaza.
Sorry,
Today,
yes.
First Minister Micheál Martin announced he is rewarding his daughter's rapists with a state of their own. Lunacy, right? Then why are you doing this to Israel? At Micheál Martin TD. Response underneath. This post is for illustrative purposes only and did not actually occur. I love when they go, so they go, here's a video of like Irish dancing set to footage of Hamas, and you're just like, look what you've done, you terrorist enablers. Look, that's the fucking typical of the Irish, they're the most anti-Semitic people ever. And then also having these fantasies about his fucking daughter, and essentially doxing his daughter, because I wouldn't have even known his fucking daughter's name. I might bleep that out even. But like, but putting that shit out there and then just going like, yeah, so have you come to your senses? Are you now going to, rejoin the cause against Palestine? It's I don't know. Like, that's the way you treat your friends, man. It's crazy. But back to the fun article. Let's find the part about Bertie.
It says here, I remember when Bertie came round. If you had an issue, Bertie would say, I'll come back to you in 3 or 4 days. Not a week, not 2 weeks. And he would.
All right.
No, he wouldn't. Like,
what would he do?
Like,
he'd just give you a fucking envelope of cash that he took out from underneath his mattress. And he's like, that's just sort of your, uncle's funeral or something. Do you know what I mean? I don't imagine it's like, you need to, fix municipal facilities to be like, what can you do about this pothole on my road specifically? I'm like, oh yeah, I sent the guy down to fill it, fill it with money. So anyway,
then we love him for it.
Yeah, and I actually do think that I've now decided to just go full vibes based on politics, and I think that Bertie will be the president, and I think it will happen. And I'm making that commitment now, A lot of people are too afraid to do that. But there is that stupid chancer energy that they'll be like, yeah, you know what? He wasn't that bad. And they associate him with the boom times. And yeah, let's have Bertie. Let's do that. Why the fuck not?
Yeah. Comedy shows a family. I don't know why I said that.
You believe?
I just saw a picture of them. Look up a picture of his family.
I'm alright.
Dude. Just look it up.
Alright, fine. And I've looked them up. They're a lot older than I thought they'd be. I thought that he'd have maybe 2 kids and they'd both be 3 or something.
Yeah.
I didn't expect a Deliveroo driver to have, he's got a grown daughter and
very grown.
She's hey. She's 18. I just find that this kind of Anyway, actually, He's only got 2 kids. I thought that his wife was his kid. Hey, is your mother home?
Yeah.
That's if I was canvassing at his house for my own party.
Is your sister or your mom home or your daughter?
Where's the other one? Oh yeah, here's one that's funny, and I thought you'd like. U.S. could skip Taoiseach meeting on St. Patrick's Day after Palestine recognition. Now I don't know whether the U.S. said this or News Talk is just freaking out. Like, we might not be able to give him fucking shamrocks.
Yeah, that would be the one way to get Ireland to unrecognise Palestine.
Yeah, immediately. You're not allowed to come and shake my hand. You're not allowed to shake a war criminal's hand. No.
Yeah. You can't shake the hand of the guy who has so many holes in his brain that he can't remember how to shake hands.
I don't see that many clips of Joe Biden speaking, so like if you're watching, like we watch RTE News every now and again, but he doesn't make that much of an appearance. But then Zainab like hate watches Fox News, so we had that on, and then you get to see like all the clips of him like uninterrupted Joe Biden speaking, and it's like, fuck, he is so fucked. He's so fucking old. Like,
yeah,
I know, like it's just. I feel like you're repeating yourself, but it is just genuine shock of just like he's insane how fucking old he is.
It is crazy how old he is. How old is he now? And like, this is going to sound particularly retarded to say, but he keeps getting older. You know what I mean? Like, you sort of think he's done with it, and then he just keeps getting older and older.
Yeah. That's it, because you're like, okay, he's old, but as long as he stays this way, then maybe we could get 4 more years out of him. And then another year passes and he's older. He's like, no. You can't get any older. You're already too old as it is.
It does feel like in a computer game where the stats are supposed to max out at some point. You know what I mean? But not him.
No. Oh, his fucking face. That's like the flesh is just glistening. It's like strained against his skull. His eyes are struggling to stay open. It's very painful, the whole thing, and it's like, this is it.
When do you think he'll die?
Next year. I think he'll die. I was saying, like, I love it with William Henry Harrison. He does like an inauguration in the cold and then dies of flu. I think that should be something that happens.
Yeah. He does an inauguration when it's like 17 degrees out.
Yeah.
And
or else, well, maybe he'll never die. Maybe we'll just see what happens when somebody like lives forever. Their flesh is just like,
that'd be cool too.
Yeah. Either or. What time are we at? Oh yeah, I could keep an eye on my. Once it gets to an hour, then the phone will hang up.
Okay.
It's like speed or something, So, yes.
That's the thing.
I wish I'd gotten to put these links in order. Just I have one here about it's gonna be a real mess.
See the other thing about it turns out Dublin City Council have been giving money to like basically whenever there's like a building project going on. Like some local gangster will turn up and be like, why don't you pay me to make sure nothing happens?
Oh really?
Yeah, like what's that? What's the term for that?
Like extortion.
Yeah.
Extortion money. Yeah.
Dublin City Council have just been like, yeah, just pay them.
Really?
Yeah, there's like.
Where was this? I never heard this.
It was online.
Okay.
On the internet. Let me look it up. Oh, sorry, I just saw another thing that says, no evidence. Council reimburse firms who paid criminals. So.
Oh, okay. Well, we're holding ourselves accountable. This is what every journalist does. They make mistakes and they correct them, you know. And you know what? We're actually better than the big dogs, because what they'll do is they'll make a big fucking mistake and then page 100, I don't know how many pages are in newspapers, and it'll be like in fucking like a month later, and it'll be in tiny print, and they'll be like, oh, I got that wrong. Yeah, you fucking did. Well, we're saying it now.
Now the story is that the Criminal Assets Bureau launched an investigation into that there were like 3 building firms that were contracted by Dublin City Council had been reimbursed $500,000 because to pay like extortion rackets. And then people were accusing Darragh O'Brien of sitting on it, sort of. You know, sitting on this report and like trying to stop it getting light. And then I guess there's been another thing that says, no, he isn't. So who do you believe?
Who do I believe? I believe not Darragh O'Brien in any position.
The Department of Housing has said that a report it commissioned more than 4 years ago has found no evidence that Dublin City Council reimbursed building companies who paid protection money. But the Criminal Assets Bureau seemed to think otherwise. Anyway.
Alright.
Just thought that was interesting.
Hey, it was. Thanks for bringing it up.
I was wrong.
Where is this?
It's that time where the free part ends. Get the rest over on patreon.com/CelticLigers. What did they talk about? Clare Daly targeted by the media. Strange Euro and local candidates. General election in the UK. National service for all.